Thank you. We all want to be a part of something. We all want to feel a sense of coherence, right? Whether it's a basketball team, a chess team, or a dance crew. When you are young and trying to find yourself, you need the access to positive environments so you can explore. Because if you don't, you will start to look for coherence somewhere else. And you might find it somewhere a lot more destructive, where you meet other angry, disappointed, and sometimes even desperate young people that feel like they have no hope in the future. And feeling hopeless is a very dangerous place to be in, especially if it happens to a group of young people. To feel like you have nothing to lose means you could do anything just to feel that you belong somewhere. I had a friend that was one of these young people seeking a sense of belonging. His name was Oliver. And unfortunately, he found a destructive way of life that eventually got him killed. I first met Oliver when we were 14 years old and just started 8th grade together. He was smart, funny, and always had new ideas on how to save the world. He loved hip hop and would always analyze every single word from every Tupac song that existed. Except being seen and heard, like all of us need, Oliver also needed a school that had the resources to meet him halfway, or someone who could guide him when he got his ADHD diagnosis, so he could feel like a normal kid. And most importantly, he needed a social welfare authority that took his mother's worrying reports seriously, because she did plenty of them. But to me, Oliver was a star. He excelled in many things and was without any doubt the best in our class of math. He was also so good at athletics that he became one of Sweden's best sprinters born 1996. But Oliver didn't even make it till his 21st birthday. He was found shot and killed in the middle of the day, 2 blocks from his home. His ADHD made him feel like he felt different from others, and he was constantly searching for his identity. And when he didn't think he could cope with school in the way people expected him to, the temptation to make money in other ways became too big. There he found friends who, just like him, were seeking to fit in. With them, he felt good. With them, he felt appreciated. And once you're in it, it's hard to get out. Oliver's destiny made me want to be a part of a change. It led me to work with how to make young people feel more included in our society and how we can build trust between each other. Last year, I became an ambassador for Sweden's largest youth organization, Fryshuset. I was one of 8 young people from suburbs all over Sweden who got the opportunity to participate in the biggest annual political week we have. We got to take parts of panels, debate, and engage in questions about us. And for the first time, we felt represented. For the first time, the decision makers were talking to us, with us, and not just about us when it comes to our future. Because who else knows what we need and the reality we face better than we ourselves? When Oliver lost his life, he was seen as just a number in the statistics, and the news wouldn't even mention his name, just like so many other boys killed before him. However, just recently, 2 young women were killed by gun violence in Sweden. One of them were killed in a wealthy area where nobody expected such a crime to even happen. And that was the tipping point. Finally, politicians are calling it out for what the gun violence really is, a national crisis. And they are now making plans for how to make it all stop. But But that's also a part of the problem. The fact that no one expects shooting to happen in those areas, only in certain areas of Sweden, means that not all of us are equally safe. Perhaps the first thing you think about when you think of Sweden is that it's a place of equality and equal opportunities, or a strong support system for those in need. And that's all mostly true, at least if you belong to the 94% of our population. The remaining 6% live in what has been labeled as a marginalized community, where the reality is something else. Rate of violence, unemployment, social exclusion, and poverty that are higher than the rest of Sweden. I grew up in one of these areas. So did Oliver. The death shootings in our communities has in the last 10 years increased by 500%. That means that a whole generation has lived through a time where it's 5 times more likely to get shot. This fact makes us one of the countries with the highest amount of death shootings per capita in the entire Europe, and by far the highest in the north. And I believe the biggest reason behind those numbers and why this is happening is the broken trust between the 6% and the rest of society. Our communities have become segregated due to people not feeling included in what should be a system, supposed to be a system for everyone. And as a result, we have formed parallel societies where we think in terms of we and them, rather than forming a society where we live as one. When a shooting is happening, it happens to the 6%, and not all of Sweden. But the violence isn't, nor has it ever been, dependent on one person. It depends on the failure of a whole society to keep each other safe. What we see in the news is that if you're one of us, society talks about you as a problem, never with you as a part of the solution. Our brothers, neighbors, and classmates are only noticed when they have committed a crime. So how can you trust a society where you're always made out to be the bad one? How could you trust a society that never recognizes all the good you do? It's only when you feel like you can trust a society that you want to become a part of it and also work to make it better. Because of this picture media has been building up, people are afraid to even come visit us. I used to think that my voice and experiences were not something that our decision makers and politicians wanted to hear. Not anymore. Now, I feel empowered to stand on a stage like this and talk about the issue we are facing, because I also do see the solutions. What needs to happen is that Sweden have to listen to us, listen to our stories and experiences, and take them seriously. We, who are affected by this violence, must be included in creating sustainable solutions. And that even involves the boys with the guns. Their perspective needs to be included as well, so people will understand better what made them take a path that could only lead to hurt, loss, and trauma. And last but not least, we need to come together and face these challenges as a united Sweden, as 100% this time. Thank you.